Coach Lance here with CFSJ's Inside the Box. Whether you have tight times or tight spaces, we've got you covered. What you're about to follow along with is a 1-hour class shrunk into a 10-minute video. How do we do it? We create pause points, we write out equipment lists, and we give you substitution options to where there is zero thought on your part. So whether you have a hotel room, a hotel gym, or you're lucky enough to be outside, we're going to give you that great CFSJ feel when you're not at CFSJ. So let's take a look at the equipment list. Most of the times fairly minimal, and a lot of times you can substitute these things for things you have around your house, whether it be a water bottle or a filled up backpack. So let's go ahead and grab your phone, let's check out this equipment list, and let's get going. Every class, we're going to start off with 2 minutes of cardio. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a bike or a rower or a treadmill or the outside, let's go ahead and do 2 minutes of rowing or jogging or biking. If you don't have that, then let's start off with some jumping jacks, some step back burpees, some double unders, or some other method of your choice that you can do in the tight space that you're in. If you need a suggestion, let's go ahead and do step back burpees. The thing I love most about step back burpees is they hit everything at once. So instead of making this a dynamic, we're going to make this a very slow, grindy kind of movement, stepping back, engaging that plank on the way forward, driving those hips open, getting that nice hinge and that hamstring stretch, and working the plank and the push-up. By the time you've done about 15 of these, everything is ready. Now again, it's your choice, so let's go ahead and start those 2 minutes now. Now that we're done with the cardio, let's focus on the 4 main movements of the dynamic warm-up. This is meant to get the hips, the glute, and the hamstrings active, in shape, and on your side. We're going to start off with toe and heel walks. Now, if you're inside, you should have enough room to at least do a few steps before turning around, but if you're absolutely crunched for space, just go ahead and fake the walk by shifting weight from right to left on each of these movements. With the toe and heel walk, you're going to start off on your toes, getting those calves active, either moving from right to left or taking a few steps before turning around. Nothing too complicated here as we switch to the heel walk, which is on your heels with the toes up, doing the exact same thing. Moving on to Frankenstein walk. With your hands out in front of you, you're going to kick right leg to left hand like you're a zombie walking aimlessly. Moving on, we've got the walking quad stretch. This one's a little bit easier. Take a step, kick the foot behind you, grab the top of the foot, slight pull up to the butt, feel the quad lengthen. 10 total. And finishing off, we've got the walking glute stretch, with each step lengthening that hamstring and that glute. Now, we didn't spend a lot of time on shoulders today, but if you feel like your shoulders need it, by all means, take something from one of the other videos, take a little more time here, and we'll see you back at the next section. Today's activation takes it to a whole new level. We're going to be working on tuck crunch, single arm squats press, and air squat jumps. Bookending 2 seemingly simple movements sandwiched right around an extremely complex one. Starting off with tuck crunches. Laying on the back, getting into a slight hollow before bringing the knees back and reaching towards those feet. This is going to be the precursor to your V-ups, and if you're ever thinking of getting a muscle up, this is a must-to-have. Moving on to single arm dumbbell or kettlebell squats press, a lot harder than it seems. If you struggle with single arm overhead squats, this is not going to be any easier, and you may consider putting the weight down on this one. Working down into the bottom of a squat, making sure that the chest stays up. If you have a weight in the hand, you're going to go ahead and keep that shoulder blade back as you press overhead. 5 on the right and 5 on the left. This is too hard to do alternating. And finishing off, getting those hips lively, 10 air squat jumps. Deep squat, quick acceleration, control the landing on the way down. This will also benefit you on box jumps, kettlebell swings, and all of your Olympic lifts. As always, 2 rounds of this. Take your time, especially on those SOTS press. We've got nowhere to go, and we'll see you back at the next section. Today's strength focuses around the skill of our Olympic weightlifting development. Working on the snatch, seemingly the simplest yet the most complicated movement that we have. We're going to start off with a dynamic warm-up that is going to allow us to get deep into a comfortable, confident snatch. Following along with Coach Devin, hands are wide, working on 3 snatch deadlifts, letting that bar trace the skin as you bring it up to a full standing position. Next, 3 snatch high pull. Right before it reaches the hip crease, quick extension of the hips, allow the bar to travel up to the top of the chest. Next, we're going to continue that on with 3 muscle snatch. Elbows stay high, quick turnover, keep the shoulder blades back, continue punching to the sky. Moving on from here, keeping that in an overhead position, 3 overhead squats. Then we'll bring it down to the back for 3 snatch balance. The purpose of this is to get under the bar as quick as possible, quick heave, drop, keep pushing that barbell back. Let's bring the barbell back to a starting position for 3 power snatch plus overhead squat. And finishing it off, 3 full snatch. Starting at the starting position, quick hip drive, dropping under that bar, tight posture in the overhead squat. Now, if it takes you more than 3 reps to get awake on the snatch, let's go ahead and do that. Take extra time where your sticking positions are before we start our complex. To develop our snatch, we're going to work on a 3-position complex today. Starting off with snatch grip push press. With the grip wide and the bar behind the back, feet under hips, quick dip and drive, getting those shoulders active and ready to receive the bar as it comes overhead. Directly from here, you're going to widen out your stance into an overhead squat. Reminder, most people find it a little easier to have a slightly wider squat stance on their overheads. And bringing the barbell back to your back, quick dip, heave, drop for a snatch balance. Each of these are going to be done 1 time every 2.5 minutes. If your weight is light, go ahead and add extra repetitions, but keep the complex whole. So do the snatch grip push press before doing the overhead squat, before doing the snatch balance. We've got 5 rounds of this, 2.5 minutes. I would suggest maybe not listening to music on this one so that you can concentrate on the movement. Go ahead and set your timer and begin. And now we're ready for that Metcon. Today's WOD, Knows No Bounds, is a totally different application to your training. While we have running and tuck crunches or hollow rocks, the entire idea is to control your breathing and diaphragmatic control during this. Called Knows No Bounds because you're going to nose breathe only during this entire time. What does that mean? That if you stop nose breathing, try to regain it. You're going to look at how much you actually have control over your automatic nervous system. Now, let's talk about what the intention is. Yes, you're still supposed to push this fast. 400-meter run doing only nose breathing will probably slow you down just a little bit, and the 15 to 20 hollow rocks will probably be coordinated or synchronized with your breath. It's going to force you to get better lung control. So don't ditch out on this one. Just because it's hard, don't slow down or ditch the nose breathing altogether. Before we go on, let's take a look at those hollow rocks. Notice Coach Devin in a slight hollow position, shoulders off the ground, hips off the ground, chin tucked ever so slightly into the chest. Rocking back and forth, trying not to let the heels rest or the shoulders rest. This will probably be the hardest part physically of the entire workout. Realistically, you're probably going to end up breaking some reps, and I'd rather see broken reps than I would see crappy reps. So setup and execution are a little bit different in this one. We've got 4-minute intervals and we have 5 of them. The idea is to get through this as quickly as you can while still controlling your body. No panic breathing or hyperventilating here. Once you finish your hollow rocks, whatever you have left on your 4 minutes, you can do with whatever you want. If you want to go back to mouth breathing, you may. If you want to try to continue on with the nose breathing until your heart rate comes down, that's even better challenge. But that time is your free time. Focus the nose breathing to the work. Now, there's not too much going on in this one, so let's set a 4-minute timer. Go ahead and hit your playlist, although I would challenge you, try not to escape your mind on this one and try to do it without music. All right, let's go ahead and set that timer and let's begin in 3, 2, 1.